Welcome to my channel for the single mom. This is Adrienne Simons. And once again on this channel, I want to remind you that you are a powerful creator. Thank you also for subscribing, for sharing, for liking and commenting. Today I want to talk about the magic phrase that I want to encourage you to use, and I want you to also teach it to your children. And the magic phrase is, and I would recommend that you, when you say this phrase, say it with feeling and put your hand on your heart. Thank you for showing me that this issue is already solved. Thank you for showing me that this issue is already solved. As a great phrase to teach your children, so that when any issue comes up that's bothering you, use that phrase. And what that phrase does, you will notice, it calms the mind. It brings you relief. It helps the mind to let go of what's bothering it. I saw this on the YouTube channel of Elmer Olaka, so maybe check him out. What this also does is it encourages the mind to trust. It encourages the mind to surrender to your higher self, or the universe, or divine intelligence, or all that is. And when you do that, it doesn't mean that now you do nothing about your issues. But what happens is that when inspired action is required, you will know exactly what to do. Just like when you get hungry, you think to yourself, I'm hungry, and then you take action, you go get something to eat. That's inspired action. So in the same way, if you can surrender your issues to your divine intelligence, because it knows best how to solve your issues. So you can use this phrase repeatedly throughout your day. I would recommend, whenever something comes up that bothers you, I don't have enough money, think to yourself, thank you for showing me that this money issue is already solved. A relationship issue or some conflict. Thank you for showing me that this relation issue is already solved. So whatever the issue is, you just say thank you and repeat that phrase. And you can be as specific or non-specific as you want to be. For example, you think, I need $25,000 for XYZ. Thank you for showing me that the issue of $25,000 is already solved. Play around with that phrase and don't complicate things. Keep things as simple as possible. The mind likes to complicate things. How do I use this phrase? Can I use this phrase if I don't speak English? Can I use it in other languages as well? It's simple. Just use the phrase in a way that feels good to you. And the simpler you can keep it, the better for you. And when you do make it specific, as long as it rolls off your tongue. If you find you can't remember the phrase really well, it just indicates that there's resistance around the mind wanting to give up and surrender that issue to divine intelligence. Usually when things bother us or when we have challenges in life, what it indicates is there are emotional charges around that issue. And we are thinking thoughts that are resistant and that will give us outcomes that we don't want. And that is why I find this phrase to be so magical. Because the moment you say it in relation to whatever the issue is that you are dealing with, when you say it in relation to that, immediately you feel the relief and the mind can let go. And when the mind goes and the mind becomes peaceful and quiet, what you are experiencing in that moment is your true nature. Our true nature is at peace. Nothing is bothering you. As a human on this earth, if you had the ability to take your mind and put it right next to you, like you do with your cell phone. If your mind was your cell phone and you could just put it right next to you, and you only pick it up when you want to use it, you have a task complete and you need your mind to for example, do it, or there's information that you need and you need your mind to do it, only then do you pick it up. With your phone, you want to send a text message, you pick up the phone and you send the message. You want to Google something, you pick up the phone and you Google. So you would pick up your mind, because your mind is about creating. It's a tool for creating. You would pick up the mind when there's something you want to create, and you would put into the mind only that you want to create. That's how we're supposed to use the mind. The mind is not supposed to be used to think and sort out problems, because what happens is the mind just goes onto a loop, because the level at which the problem was created, and I think Einstein refers to this as well, the level at which a problem was created, it can't be solved at that level. And the mind is really the reason why we have problems, because of the way that we think about certain subjects in your life. If you weren't to think those thoughts, there wouldn't be a problem. And so you can see why it's so effective to surrender the problem by using this magic phrase to divine intelligence, instead of wanting to think your way out of it. Because the level at which the problem was created, you can't think your way out of it on that level. You need to be on a higher level to look at things, get a aerial view on the subject, and then you are able to solve the problem. You can't do it when you are at that level. That would not be possible. I want you to take special note also when you say the magic phrase, "Thank you for showing me that the issue is already solved." When you say that magic phrase, I want you to notice the relief you feel in your body. And in order to milk that feeling of relief, I want you to also follow that up by welcoming that feeling of relief. And when you repeat that phrase again, welcome that feeling of relief. Enjoy that feeling of relief. You're also catching a glimpse, as I've mentioned before, of your true nature. This is how we are supposed to feel all the time. And the only thing that disturbs us feeling that peace and quiet and silence and happiness all the time is the mind. It should be a goal of ours to free ourselves of the programming of the mind. And it is possible to do. I'm still working on freeing myself completely from all the programming. But the more that I do it, the more I see that I can be completely free from these programs. I can live in a state of the all that is. Because, as I've mentioned before, when you quiet the mind, when the mind has nothing that it can grab onto in order to disturb you, then there's just peace. So this magical phrase is a way for you to constantly dissolve limiting programs of the mind. Because the moment it comes up, you're able to surrender it. The moment something comes up, you're able to surrender it. And the great way to use this is before you go sleep at night, whatever it is at this moment in time that is disturbing your mind, you already have that picture in your mind of it. So you just say that phrase, "Thank you for showing me that this issue is already solved." Repeat it 3 times if you like. And the reason why I was saying, I remember with when I heard this phrase, I think he says something like Alma Olaka, you only have to use it once. But as a hypnotherapist, as someone that has studied the mind, what I realized is that for some people they can say it once, and for other people where you have more emotional charge around your programming, you may have to do it a little bit more. But this is such a simple, easy way to do it, because the mind likes to complicate things. And to find a phrase that's so simple and easy to use for you to dissolve the programming that you have, whatever level it is that you have it at, is such a wonderful gift, such a wonderful gift. And I really would like you to use it with your children. Show them how to use this. They will have fun with this, and they will be able to breeze through life, not accumulating as much programming that maybe you have. And I'm sure you want that for your children. How easy to only put into the mind what it is that you want to create, because that's what the mind is for. The mind is there. You put into it only what you want to create, what you want to project out into the 3D world. So the more you become free of your limiting programs and the limitations of the mind, the more you become your true nature. And the more you become your true nature, the easier it is for you to manifest whatever it is that you desire. Because your mind is quiet. And when you put in a thought of what you want to create, of what you desire, when you put that thought in, that thought is powerful because it's not diluted with thousands of other thoughts also taking the energy that you use for creation. It's concentrated, it's powerful. And that is why it's so important for you to dissolve the limiting programs of the mind, because it's the programs that gives rise to thoughts like, I am not enough, I am not lovable. These individual thoughts that a person thinks, it arises because of the programming that we all have. And a lot of that is happening on a level that you're not even aware of. The only way that it really shows up is in the 3D world, where you're setting a goal and you find you're not attaining the goal, and that all these conflicting, doubtful thoughts and fear is arising. One of the benefits of also dissolving your limiting programs is you'll dissolve fear. Imagine living a life with not having to fear, or not living in a fearful state all the time, not having to be vigilant and on guard all the time. Because awareness, just having awareness of what is happening around you, takes care of having to deal with any emergency that may come up. You don't have to be fearful in order to deal with an emergency. You will deal better when you don't have fear and you are just aware and have your faculties, stable faculties around you to deal with whatever situation that you are dealing with. In conclusion, I want to encourage you to actually use the phrase. Use the phrase. Try it out for the next 7 days. Experiment with it. Experiment with it in all sorts of different ways. And remember to use it at night before you go to sleep. Remember to use it in the morning when you wake up. Remember to teach it to your children and give them the same instruction at night before they go to sleep, whatever issue that they have, to just say thank you for showing me that it is already solved. And once again, I want to remind you that the program Embody Your True Nature, you can find out how to get hold of that to support you in releasing your limiting beliefs. It's in the link below. And remember to subscribe, remember to share, remember to comment and like this video. I look forward to our next video.